I want to tell you about the Christmas I came home and my bedroom was gone. Not redecorated. Not reorganized. Gone. A different bed. A different dresser. A different lamp. A ring light in the corner. A small sign on the door that said, "The Garden Room." A guest book on the nightstand. A QR code on the wall that linked to an Airbnb listing. My childhood bedroom had been converted into an Airbnb rental while I was living 4 hours away finishing my graduate degree. My parents had not mentioned it. My parents had not asked. My parents had listed it on Airbnb, given it a name, bought it a ring light, and put a guest book on the nightstand. I found out on December 23rd when I arrived home for Christmas and opened the door to what I thought was my room. I want to tell you what was in that room when I left for graduate school 2 years earlier. My bed. The same bed I had slept in since I was 12. My desk where I had written every paper from 7th grade through my undergraduate degree. My bookshelf with every book I had kept since childhood. A bulletin board with photos, friends, family, places I had been, ticket stubs, things I had collected over 20 years of being a person. A box under the bed with things I was not ready to throw away and not ready to take with me. A closet with clothes I no longer wore but could not let go of. 20 years of a life I had built in one room. I stood in the doorway for a long time. I was looking at a ring light and a guest book and a QR code. My mother came upstairs. She said, "Oh good, you found it. What do you think? We did a lot of work in here." I asked her where my things were. She said she had taken care of everything. I asked her what that meant. She said most of the books were in the basement. She said the clothes had been donated. She said the bulletin board had been taken down. She said she had kept some things she thought I would want. I asked about the box under the bed. She was quiet for a moment. She said she hadn't been sure what was in it. I asked her what she had done with it. She said she thought she might have donated it with the clothes. She wasn't sure. She said most of it was probably just old things anyway. I went to the basement. The books were there. 3 boxes of books stacked in the corner. Bulletin board was not there. The box from under the bed was not there. I do not know exactly what was in that box. I know there were letters. Letters my grandmother had written me before she died when I was 16. I know there was a journal. I know there was a photograph of my best friend from childhood who died in a car accident when we were 19. I know there were other things I had put there specifically because they were too important to throw away and too fragile to carry with me. I do not know if those things still exist. My mother thinks she might have donated the box. She's not sure. She says most of it was probably just old things anyway. I sat in the basement for a long time. My father came downstairs. He said, "Emma, come on, it's Christmas." I told him my grandmother's letters might be gone. He said your mother didn't know what was in the box. I told him she could have asked. He said they had needed the room. I asked him why they had needed the room. He said the Airbnb income helped with the mortgage. I asked him when they had decided this. He said about a year ago. I asked him why neither of them had mentioned it to me. He said they hadn't wanted to make it into a big thing. I told him it was a big thing. He said I could stay in the guest room. I told him the guest room was not the point. He said I didn't live here anymore. I told him not living somewhere and having the evidence of your entire childhood donated without being asked were two different things. He was quiet. He said he was sorry about the box. He said he thought most of it was probably replaceable. I told him my grandmother's letters were not replaceable. He said he knew. He said he was sorry. He went back upstairs. I called my brother that evening. He lives in another state. He said he had known about the Airbnb for about 6 months. I asked him why he hadn't told me. He said he had assumed mom and dad would tell me themselves. I asked him if he thought they were going to tell me. He said probably not before you showed up. I said that was what I thought. I confronted my mother properly on Christmas Eve. My father was in the other room. I told her I needed to talk about the bedroom. She said she had thought I would understand. I told her I would have understood if she had asked me. I told her I would have helped her clear it out. I told her I would have come home for a weekend and gone through everything myself and kept what I wanted to keep and said goodbye properly to the room I had grown up in. She said she hadn't wanted to bother me. I told her bothering me and giving me the opportunity to preserve my own memories were not the same thing. She said she was sorry about the letters. I told her sorry did not bring back my grandmother's handwriting. She said she knew. She said she had kept some things. She brought me a small box. Inside was a photo from my 16th birthday. A ribbon I had won at a school competition when I was 9. A small stuffed animal I didn't recognize. I looked at the box for a long time. This was what my mother had decided was worth keeping from 20 years of my life in that room. A photo, a ribbon, and a stuffed animal I didn't recognize. Christmas was difficult. We got through it. My mother made the food I had always loved. My father told the stories he always told. My brother called and we talked for a long time. I slept in the guest room under unfamiliar sheets and thought about letters I would never read again. I went home on December 26th. On the drive back I thought about whether I was being unreasonable. I thought about the argument my father had made. I don't live there anymore. He is not wrong that I don't live there anymore. What I keep coming back to is the box. Not the room. Not the Airbnb. Not the ring light. The box. The things I had put somewhere safe because I knew they mattered and I would want them someday. They are gone because my mother did not ask what was in a box before she donated it. And I will spend a long time not knowing if that is true. My brother says I should let the room go. My best friend says the room is one thing but the box is something else entirely. My therapist says grief takes many forms and the loss of objects that hold memory is a legitimate loss. I think my therapist is right. Was I wrong to confront them? Or did donating a box of irreplaceable things without asking answer that question before I even opened the door to the garden room? Down finger, drop your verdict in the comments. NTA or YTA? Bell, subscribe to the verdict for new stories every week. Because every story deserves a verdict.